Hola César y hola comunidad de Latinoamérica, muchas gracias por la
Oh,
invitación.
hello, kiddos. So it's great to have to
Hello,
be here with
Cesar.
you guys.
Uh,
I mean,
I
I'm
have
very happy
a
to
guest
be here with
today,
you.
Francisca, or
So
Kika, as we call her in this
it's great to
region.
do this now, huh?
Well, I'll make a brief
So
introduction.
basically, I want to
Both
offer you
Kika and
guys a
myself, we
couple of
work
words,
together with
to
companies,
introduce what we're
small
doing,
and medium-sized companies. And myself, I
So
work with
especially
native
those
digital
digital
enterprises, the
companies,
companies
right?
that, being SMEs,
So this is how we do, small companies, mid-sized companies, they're growing, right? In the whole world, this is happening, right? So we see that this is the element of digital transformation. So my name is Wilson Pace, and
Ambos vivimos en Santiago de Chile, famosa Kika Escobar, que trabaja fuertemente con pymes para habilitarlas digitalmente con herramientas digitales, herramientas modernas, para poder vender en línea y crecer los negocios en su país, en la región y, ¿por qué no?, en toda América Latina y en el mundo. Así que, Kika, si quieres dar algunas
Sim,
breves
Kinka, se você quer falar algumas palavras antes que eu comece.
iniciales que queremos compartir, después retomo contigo la conversación más puntual de las herramientas, pero te doy unos minutos para que te presentes.
Perfecto, muchas gracias Wilson, gracias por la invitación. Podemos empezar Hello Baby Party, pero vamos a hacer esta presentación en español para todos los que escriben ahí en el chat que dicen que bueno que venga en español. Guatemala, Venezuela, Ecuador, Argentina, Uruguay, he visto gente, así que único consejo es que si ustedes quieren hacer crecer su negocio, si lo quieren escalar y quieren llegar al resto de Latinoamérica o expandirse en su país, esta es la presentación para ustedes. Vamos a romper todos los mitos, todas las dudas que puedan tener y que se atrevan y se suban a este tren que llegó con la pandemia y que no se va. Así que esas son la invitación a escuchar de esta presentación.
Bueno, muchas gracias, Kika. Ya empiezan a ver un poco el poder de Kika, el poder de esta emprendedora, que se las recomiendo mucho que la sigan por redes sociales y sigan su empresa, su emprendimiento. También tenemos personas de Brasil, así que vamos a intentar hablar español lo mejor que podamos para que los traductores vayan traduciendo a portugués y también a inglés. Así que déjenme rápidamente pasar a compartirles unas láminas que preparamos aquí con Kika para que nos pongamos en contexto. De lo que queremos hablarles es de herramientas digitales que tiene Microsoft y sus socios, en este caso aquí me acompaña Kika, para el crecimiento y agilidad de los negocios. Kika tiene soluciones y más que soluciones, acompañamiento consultivo digital para poder hacer crecer sus negocios, digitalizar sus negocios y entonces acelerar su crecimiento ganando agilidad. Y Microsoft, por supuesto, está muy
and of
enfocado
course, Microsoft is connected to how to teach small companies to offer them the capacity, right? So to make them available to do it digitally, having services in the cloud. And basically, what I want to share with you guys is that technology, for sure, is the most important element of this, right? So we see that, for sure, technology is only one aspect of this, one of these vectors of transformation, right? So technology is, I mean, looking at cloud computing, artificial intelligence, data management, robotics, drones, mobility, all of this has to do with how things are happening. So these are innovation. This is about innovation. Huh? So this is technological innovation. This brings about this sort of development. So this is what we know, right? So we want to do it, to have it, right, closer together, to be connected to customers. Technology is not all. So opportunities come through transformations that happen at a certain level, right? Social level, demographic level. This has to do with changes in the workplace, changes in all sorts of things. Then we see that there is a service, there are goods, So we know that this will mean sometimes the destruction of business opportunities, and sometimes the bringing about of new business opportunities. And we gotta keep eyes open, right? Keep your eyes open, make sure you see those changes. There are challenges, one needs to know what's going on, one needs to be involved, one needs to look at current customers and future customers. So one may as well miss the target, miss the moment, and be completely disconnected from these things. So for sure, we know that this is what we see globally. So we are at the moment in a complex moment. This is right now happening. Europe, what's happening in Europe affects us. So this affects it all. It affects goods and services. This affects it for sure. So we are always going to be immersed in these vectors of transformation, and technology is for sure brings about solutions, makes it possible, right, to come up with new business models. So these changes, what we see here, we know that there has been the product era, the digital era, and the disruption era. Imagine you would see things happen every 10 years, every 20 years. We moved then to a digital era where digital products would definitely be created and bring about value. We look at digital photographs. There's a development in that how that happens, right? Then we get to a moment which is the disruption era. And disruption era brings about this very swift change. And we see that now this is an era of revolution, an era of Airbnb, Uber. So these are big companies, But one needs to keep on developing, keep on innovating, keep on bringing new ideas. But this could sound like, like bad news. But let me tell you what this is. For those small companies, for small businesses, this is a moment of opportunity. Why? Why is this a moment of opportunity? Why is this about opportunity? So whoever has that agility to do it, to do something that is not working, to reinvent oneself and bring about change. And these are the small companies and bigger companies. Who can do it better? For sure, small-sized companies, mid-sized companies, if they have that flexibility, it's not easy to have a big company make such moves. That's it. For sure, that's how it is. This is how it is. And to bring you something of a more concrete example, I definitely want to offer you guys some final comments here when it comes to logistics, distribution, manufacture, all of this. So when we look at distribution, when we look at how things are happening, music, movies, I mean, we feel this ourselves, We feel this ourselves as consumers, right? So it has been automatized. We know that it's how it happens. There is artificial intelligence. There are processes that make it more automatized. And this is how it happens. This is how it goes. And we see how this happens thanks to technology. I can basically make one thing ready for one person specifically. I can make T-shirts for a specific country. I can do things, right? I can make things personalized. I can really consider things in a personalized manner. And the world has become decentralized. Solutions such as Rappi, Mercado Libre, in Latin America, for example, just to give you an example, right? In Brazil, we see that there's a new type of company, new type of institution, and this brings about. I recommend this book, Lead from the Future. So this is about strength, huh? So Kika, I mean, this is so important. It gets to us, huh? It hits us. And many of, I mean, we see this tendency, we see this trend, and we know that data is the new oil, huh? We know this, huh? This is The Economist, huh? We know the famous magazine 2017. They said what is most valuable now to companies is not oil. It used to be, but now it's data. Data is the new oil because data makes it possible to automatize. When you have a big volume of data, what customers are doing, what customers are looking at, customers are what they want to purchase, you can automatize products, offers, they can offer, and these things can happen this way, right? Another trend is the idea of everything's a service, right? All as a service. So big companies such as Bosch, Boeing, they're doing it. BMW, they're doing it. They have that. Why buy a car? Why buy a car if I can register for a car? Why buy a car if I can have a specific car for a specific moment just by having a membership with BMW? So people nowadays, they're thinking, maybe they want to have a city car during the week. They want to have a fancy car for the weekend. So they don't want to have a car. They want to have a subscription. They want to have a membership. So it's about being more elastic, being more agile. This is very much what we consider for the sake of how we see business, and something that is extremely important for small businesses. As you can see here, I like this magazine, The Economist, and they talk about the business of survival and the next catastrophe and how to survive it. The next catastrophe, how to survive it. I mean, it's all about resilience, right? It's all about bringing that value, being genuinely a business, right? And the concept of camel business. A camel business is now something very interesting, a lean company, an agile company that does things. We cannot do it without technology to do it. That's why Kika and I want to talk about four pointers, and I want to hear from Kika, how are we looking at this, in Chile, in Latin America, how can we understand customers? How can we do digital marketing, obviously to sell, and obviously how can we have businesses grow in that scenario? So let's hear from Kika. Oh, all right then. So I want to say two things here that have to do with what Wilson has told us, and it has to do with this challenge. First, the type of company that we would consider to be successful, and technology made a change. Not an end to things, but a means to do things. It's that idea, everything should be technological, but you lose the idea of being so connected to the business side of things, right? And this is like a toolkit, I have the tools, I have the product, I have marketing, I have the customer, I have technology. This kit, it's a toolkit. And one thing that you have said, Wilson, is the idea of a camel company. First time we see the unicorn effect. and we see how the unicorn effect goes. So Chile sees like, oh, this we have had, now we have 3 unicorns in Chile. Cornish butterfly, I mean, check out, right? They are unicorns. So now we see Cusco in Ecuador, and we see a new unicorn in Latin America. It's great to see what's happening, but not everything will be unicorn. It's important to know, right? What is necessary. So it's not about growing in whatever, in any way. What is interesting about unicorns is that they have these explosive numbers, but not necessarily sustainable, huh? Not necessarily. I mean, we hear about them, we see that this is not necessarily how it goes. For sure, we know that there is an expertise, there is something to offer. So we definitely want to bring something that is sustainable enough, and it's about, for sure, this idea, the concept of unicorn in the region, answering a question.
Para cualquier negocio,
what is key to any business to really grow, and is to learn these 4 steps: digital listening, digital marketing, digital selling, marketplaces. We know digital businesses in social medias, how I generate info, how we get to businesses, how we see this happen. And it's all about, for example, when we want to buy something, we want to get far from pain and close to happiness. Something happens, right? Something good happens. Something good happens. I want to buy a bottle of something to drink because I want to celebrate that. But then the next day I have a headache. I need to buy a pill to fix that. So we see that this is what we want to solve, right? So we show products, we show as a way to solve issues, the best solution. This is the medicine to do it. And this is the step. And this is the perfect solution. And third, you got to do it easy. Purchasing should be easy. No one likes to move around 5,000 times to find something, right? We know that at a store, the cash register is nearby. It's nearby because it should be easy. Buying should be easy. It should not be difficult. So before considering anything, I mean, look, this is a good point. It's a good point of how things happen, and we see different people bringing things together, having this unique value proposition, and what I need to do, what I can do. I mean, we have tools for that. A person can very well hire a service from Microsoft, and then we see that, I mean, we should consider, we look at a person, right? See Facebook, Instagram, we see how things are going. And we know that for sure, if something is very difficult to do, if someone is very influential on Instagram, so I mean, we should look at how this goes. So for sure, I mean, we want to look at those issues. It influences us, influences each one of us. We look at social selling. We look at how sales is done on social media such as LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. We see information, we make it available for current and future customers. And those that, I mean, for Kika, it's for sure you want to create a site, you want to create a, e-commerce as fast as possible, as swift as possible to bring it all together. Then we have delivery, we have all things and startups that bring this together. We want to be able to deliver. Huh? Finally, we see these mega marketplaces, the concept of super app, the concept of Rappi, of Mercado Libre, I mean, the big marketplaces in the world. So this is a bit of the sum up of what we wanted to share with you guys. I want to end with a reflection here. Something by Jack Welch, for those who come from big companies. Jack Welch, famous businessman, he was General Electric CEO, and his managerial skills, this company became at some point the biggest, most valuable company in the world. They manufacture refrigerators, light bulbs. They have a book. He has a book called Winning. Now he's retired, of course. He's an older fellow now, and he's retired. He wrote a book, this book, and he said, if the rhythm of external change is quicker than the change within, the end is near. The company starting to die. What happens on the outside is much quicker than what is happening on the inside. The end is near. So what he says, for sure, as you can see, let's make it a small change, huh? I made a few changes, huh? So he made it negative, right? I made it positive. So if the rhythm internally, oh look, I'm not gonna say that this is mine, huh? But I put it like Jack Welch and Willie, just a little something. I'm sure he's not gonna be upset with me. So for us here at Microsoft, we say this. So if the rhythm of change internally is quicker than the rhythm of change externally, this opportunity is unique. So this is for sure something that we believe in, Microsoft. Such as Kika's company. I mean, Kika really shows us, she shows us this power, right? Kika means Francisca. If you guys know her, Kika is really kick-ass. For sure, she works hard and she brings these ideas, these concepts, and bring these unique opportunities to all of us. Well, with that being said, I want to make it possible to, to go for this, So we consider this to be something, so we know that this is for the sake of how we do things. Thanks to the pandemic, we know myths. So we see that without the pandemic, we know that this is different, right? But thanks to the pandemic, these tools exist. So thanks to the pandemic, there is no longer the myth of, oh, what is e-commerce? It was the power of e-commerce, right? E-commerce is the reality. So, I mean, we're open for this, you know, opportunity. I mean, my father was once told me, I mean, we see that the river is very difficult. This is for sure the outlook for fishermen to look for fish, because for sure I like this idea, because right now people will be saying like, oh, we have this, what should we be considering? There's a war. The pandemic has done this and that, and what should we do? For sure, we are going through difficulties, that's for sure. But then what do I have? What can I do? And this is for sure an opportunity, I mean, for this. So we see that these myths are behind us. I mean, frontiers, huh? I mean, this is not what we see nowadays. Huh? I mean, it's in business. So we see how I'm capable to take this business and take it, move it forward. So we see the opportunity, huh? In the hands of those who take it. Oh, thank you, Kika. Sure, I mean, it was great, Cesar, to be here. Really great to be with you guys. I mean, we see a lot of interaction going on. This is great. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, guys.
It's okay, don't worry. Go ahead.
No problem.
Translate for everybody, but thank you for sharing your insights. I mean, I think the way that you did this is really fascinating, you know, because you brought a real live example of what can happen if you take advantage of all the tools that are available to our companies. And Kika, you mentioned something that I think is really critical for our SMEs throughout the region, which is this is an opportunity, right? And I think with every challenge that we have to look at the other side of that. You know, challenges equal opportunities. And the last 2 years, really what's happened is accelerated what was already supposed to happen in terms of digital transformation. I mean, the digital transformation was coming. The last 2 years just kind of gave it that push, right? And you guys, you know, really, when I say you, SMEs, you are at the forefront of that acceleration. So we do have a couple of questions.
Yeah, but
one
just one thing to complement what you were saying, Cesar. I think it's about the mentality, the mindset that a company has, which makes the difference between success and failure. Because everybody's facing the same difficulties, the same opportunities, but it's the mindset and the hard work that a company can do that makes the difference.
I agree 100%. So if I can ask you both, everyone wants to stay in touch with you. If you could drop your social media, LinkedIn on the chat box, that way everybody has it, that's great. Kika, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Nuestra empresa ofrece servicios de tecnología B2B. ¿El e-commerce es una opción adecuada?
Ordinaria. I don't know if no sé si responder en español o en inglés.
En español yo creo que está bien.
Ya, buenísimo.
So,
no se lo pierda, ¿por qué no está vendiendo online?
one should be selling online. Well, anyway, if it's B2B, B2C, you should be selling online. A very common question is if B2B is not popular, it's not massive. B2C is massive, but B2B, no. But we know that there are new generations, right? New generations, they're native, right? They're online native. They're native to this online world. So even though this is B2B, for sure, they're gonna bring that element, that wave to B2B. So to answer the question is yes, go for it. Sell online. You should sell online. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate.
I think it's yeah, I can't imagine a topic, you know, more relevant today, you know, as we think about digital transformation. So let me go ahead and take you guys into our break. Before we break,